The emergency beacon did not sound like a machine. It sounded like fear. A broken signal crossed space. It reached Elite Guard Outpost 9 too late. Commander Dr. Varen wrote the alert on the bridge. He looked at the report. The signal was old, very old. The attack had started long before they got the call. Docker did not yell. His voice was cold. Set full burn now. The warship moved fast. Stars turned to white lines. No one spoke. Then the colony appeared on the screen. Vesa 12, a small civilian outpost. No soldiers, no heavy defenses, only families, only workers, only cubs. The heat scan showed the truth. Bodies everywhere, fading life signs, and one cluster in the nursery wing. 6 small life signs, still alive. Drax stood. Raiders. His second officer checked the scan. Yes, Commander. Mixed weapons. Forced entry. No. Local defense left. The ship entered the atmosphere. They could see smoke. They could see fire. Half the colony was dark. The other half was burning. The elite guard landed hard. They rushed out in full armor. They expected a fight. They expected raiders. They expected screams. Instead, they found silence. The kind of silence that comes after death. Bodies were in the courtyard. Vigian civilians. An elder near the beacon relayed, one hand still on the switch. He sent the signal. He died trying. Trev checked the relay. Manual trigger. Damaged. Weak signal. It bounced through dead satellites before it reached us. Docker said nothing. Then a medic shouted from the nursery hall. Commander, in here. Docker ran. The nursery door was broken. The frame was full of bullet marks. Blood was on the wall. Human blood. Woman lay in the doorway. One arm stretched back. Her hand locked on the inner rail, like she used her body to block the door. Selena Morrow, human xenobiologist, civilian researcher. The cubs were behind her. 6 Vishan cubs. Small, shaking, covered in her blood. One cub was pressed against her shoulder, still hiding under her. The medic scanned her. The scanner beeped, then beeped again. The medic looked up. She is alive. Doctor dropped to one knee. Selena was barely breathing. Her body was torn by bullets. A greater rifle was still in her hand, empty. Drayed her pulse weak, but they're stabilize her. The medic moved fast. Seal foam pressure packs, injectors. Dedrar studied the room. 14 raiders. 10 dead in the hall. 2 outside. 1 near the back hatch. He looked at the last body inside the nursery. The raider's throat was ripped open, not shot, torn. Durrett looked at the cubs. One tiny cub bared its blood-stained teeth. Even the cubs had fought. The medic worked on Selena. She is crashing. Commander. Selena's eyes opened a little. Brown focused. Not on the guards. On the cubs. She tried to speak. No. Sound came out. The smallest cub made a soft cry. Selena looked at Doctor. She whispered, "Do not move them yet." Doctor leaned closer. "The cubs are safe. Medical is here." Selena shook, her head scared. If they move now, they panic. Even now she was thinking about the cubs. Not herself, not the bullets, not the pain. The medic stared at her. She should not be awake. Doctor looked at Trev. How long did she hold? Trev checked the logs. First contact was 53 minutes ago. The room went still. She held the nursery alone for almost an hour. Drek looked at the doorframe. Bullet marks everywhere. The wall behind her was hit many times. Those shots were meant for the cubs. She took them instead. Trev picked up another raider weapon. She used more than one gun. She took weapons from the dead. Selena coughed. Blood touched her lips. Dur leaned close. "Stay with me, Selena." Her eyes moved. "Did they get in?" "No. The cubs are alive." Her face changed. Not fear, not relief. Completion. The smallest cub pushed against her side. Selena lifted 2 fingers. She touched the cub's head, soft, gentle. The cub went still. A packmother touch. But she was not Vesian. She was human, a scientist. No armor, no combat rank, no reason to die here. Trev found the security footage. Doctor told him to play it. The video showed the truth. Selena was feeding the cubs. They were climbing over her feet. Then the wall exploded. Raiders rushed the hall. Selena pushed the cubs behind the rail. She grabbed a shock. A raider entered. She struck him. He fell. She took his gun. She fired again. Again. A bullet hit her shoulder. She did not stop. Another hit her side. She stayed in the doorway. She dragged a cabinet across the opening. She fired through the gap. More raiders came. She switched weapons. She used every gun she could grab. She slipped in her own blood. She got back up. She kept fighting. The cubs tried to run to her. She pushed them back. She shouted at them to stay. By then, she could barely stand. She used the broken frame to hold herself up. Then the last raider came, big, armored, bleeding. He aimed past her at the cubs. Selena had no ammo, no time, no shield. She threw herself backward over the cubs. He fired into her back. Her body covered them. The video ended. No, one spoke. The medic checked her vitals. She is fading. I can slow it. I cannot save her here. Doctor moved close to her face. Medical ship is landing. Stay with us. Selena looked at him. She understood the armor. She understood the delay. She whispered, "You took your time." The words cut deeper did not hide. He answered, "Yes, no excuses, no lies. Only truth." Selena looked at him for a moment. Then she gave one small nod. "Not forgiveness, just truth," she whispered again. "Then do one thing right." Doctor swallowed. "Name it." Selena looked at the cubs. "Do not let them remember the guns." The smallest cub trembled against her side. Selena tried to lift her hand. She could not. DeRocker gently placed her hand on the cub's head. "I swear." Selena watched him. Her breathing slowed. The fight left her eyes. She exhaled once, then she was gone. The cubs began to cry. Low sounds, broken sounds, pack sounds. They filled the room. Drax stood. His chest burned with rage. But the raiders were dead, killed by a human scientist. A woman with no armor. A woman refused to move. He turned to Trev. "Archive." Trad hesitated for casualty record. Commander Dre looked at the blood-soaked doorway. For honor's record, she held this line alone. She saved 6 Vashon cubs. If our laws do not call that a warrior death, then our laws are too small. Trev lowered his head. "Yes." Commander Dre gave the next order full. "Guard honors, notify the Human Confederation. Mark this nursery as sacred ground until the cubs are grown." The medic looked at Selena. "What about the body, Commander?" Doctor answered without delay. "Rapper and guard black tack her like she outranked us all." The story spread across the sector, not from speeches, from the footage, from the doorway, from the final moment. Some called it madness. Some called it instinct. The Veshan called it pack-claim. Not by blood, by action. The 6 cubs lived for weeks. They only slept near a door. Sudden metal sounds made them panic. They bit medics. They refused handlers. But they lived, and they remembered. Selena, the smallest cub, dragged a blanket to the doorway every night. He slept on guard, exactly where she died. Commander Docker visited every week. No armor, no weapon. He sat on the floor. He brought food. At first, the cub stayed away. Then one day, the smallest cub climbed into his lap. Docker almost laughed. That night, he lit a human memorial candle beside Selena's photo. He kept that candle burning for years. No one asked why. They all knew. They had seen the logs. They knew the number. 17 minutes. That was the gap. 17 between signal and action. 17 minutes between rescue and regret. 17 minutes. Too late. Years passed. The cubs grew up. They became warriors. One day they stood in the Hall of Guards. Human officials stood on one side. Vashon Elder stood on the other. Commander Doctor was older now. He carried a ceremonial torch. He did not light the flame. He handed it to the smallest cub, no longer small, now a warrior. His name was Karis Selena Vesh. Selena was part of his pack-name, part of the law, part of their history. Karis held the torch before he lit the fire. He looked at Doctor. "Were you there?" The hall went silent. Docker answered the same way he did before, with truth. "No, I was late." Karis looked at him, then gave one small nod, the same kind of nod which Selena gave in the nursery. Karis lit the brayer. Flame rose high. He spoke in Vashon. Then in Basic, "She was not born to our pack. She chose it." She stood in the door, and death stopped at her back. "Remember that before you call humans soft." The human delegation bowed not for politics for her. Dedrar bowed to lower than all of them, because he still carried the weight, because honor does not erase guilt, because some debts stay forever, and because on VSSSA 12, and a broken nursery doorway, I human scientists taught the galaxy one truth. Humans do not wait to decide who is theirs. When fear comes, they decide, and once they decide, they do not move. If this story hit you hard, subscribe now for more powerful HFI stories. Comment your favorite moment below. Was it Selena's last stand or Karara's in the Hall of Guards? Your comments help this channel grow and bring more stories like this.